Hello and welcome to this mindfulness video for the Stuart Low Trust. My name is Katie. I am a mindfulness practitioner and I also work for the Stuart Low Trust on the Friday evening events when they are running. I hope everyone's doing okay and I hope that you get something from this video. So we are going to be looking once again at what mindfulness is, also what mindfulness isn't, some of the benefits, and also I'm going to look at some of the frequently asked questions that I get asked a lot. So we'll be kind of exploring that a bit more, and also we'll be doing some practice together, which is the most important part of mindfulness. So just as a recap, I'd like to just talk about what mindfulness is. So mindfulness is basically being in the present moment without judgment. And I really like this quote by Sylvia Boorstein, which kind of sums it up really nicely. Mindfulness is the aware, balanced acceptance of the present moment. It isn't any more complicated than that. It is opening to or receiving the present moment, pleasant or unpleasant, just as it is, without either clinging to it or pushing it away. So what Sylvia Boorstein is talking about there is what we tend to do is when we experience something as pleasant, we tend to want to cling to it, and when we experience something as unpleasant, we tend to want to push it away. And that's a very natural part of our human experience. But what tends to happen is if we cling to something that's pleasant, is it kind of slips through our fingers and we don't actually enjoy that experience so much anymore. And also when we push something away that's very unpleasant, it can make those feelings stronger and create more stress and more struggle and kind of add layers of suffering to what we're already experiencing. So that's what she's talking about there with mindfulness. It's a very gentle approach. So some of the benefits of mindfulness, if we are living more in the present moment, that tends to mean we are less stressed, less anxious about the future, because we are dealing with what we can deal with in the moment. And then all the benefits that brings, so sleeping better, our physical health tends to improve, and our pain can reduce if we practice mindfulness. And mindfulness for me was part of my recovery from chronic fatigue syndrome, and it was, it's been really helpful for me for a long time and continues to be so. So I do come from my own experience with this. It can also really help us to develop compassion and kindness, and that's towards ourselves and other people. It can help us to be more grateful for what we have, and just kind of more connected with the world around us. And also one of the great things about mindfulness is that it can be practiced either formally or informally. So when I speak about formal practice, I mean the sort of practice that we'll be doing today. So either sitting or lying and focusing on something like your breathing or your body, that would be considered a formal practice. An informal practice of mindfulness would be something like bringing the qualities of non-judgmental awareness to something like doing the washing up, or having a shower, or walking down the street, or anything that you're doing that you can bring those qualities of mindfulness to. And that's the beauty of it. You don't have to be sitting on a mountain, cross-legged, meditating. It's something that the whole point of it is that you bring it to your everyday life, that it's not a kind of retreat from life. So yeah, we'll go into what mindfulness isn't. So mindfulness isn't a quick fix. It's not a cure. It's not about being relaxed as such, although it can induce those feelings of being more relaxed. It's not about hiding from reality or retreating. It is about engaging more with reality. It is about sitting with what is already here. It's basically a way of being that is more awake. So yeah, obviously mindfulness is very trendy these days, and it's talked about quite a lot in the media, and a lot of companies are providing it for their staff, which I think can only be a good thing. My only misgiving about that is that it you know, there's a opportunity for it to be used as a kind of a band-aid measure, so kind of overloading people, and actually mindfulness is not a way of running away from any problems and anything that needs to change, so in an organisation or whatever. So yeah, mindfulness isn't a kind of although it's trendy, it's not like a quick fix for anything. It's about kind of changing the way that we live. So let's think about what happens when we're not mindful. So when you think about it, most accidents happen when we're not mindful. So I don't know if you've ever had the experience where you're kind of you've cut yourself while you're chopping vegetables or something like that. It's something that I've done, and I realised as soon as I cut my finger that my mind was elsewhere. My mind was kind of going over a conversation that I'd already had, or planning something for the next day or something like that, and I had forgotten to put my mind where my body was. And you know, probably most car accidents happen when people aren't being mindful of actually, you know, what's going on. They're listening to music, having a conversation, and they're distracted by something. And also, when we're not mindful, we don't pay attention to listening to people so much. And that can really affect our relationships, and also the kind of compassion and the non-judgmental awareness part of mindfulness, which we are going to go into more in the next video actually, is very important in our relationships, not just with other people but with ourselves as well. So yeah, so that is what mindfulness is, what mindfulness isn't, and some of the benefits. So I'd like to go into some frequently asked questions. So I've been teaching stress reduction and mindfulness for about 13 years now, so it's quite a long time. So one of the main things that people say to me when they first start practicing mindfulness, in particular formal mindfulness practice, so meditation, a lot of people will say to me, I can't stop thinking. You know, how can I stop thinking? And the short answer to that is you can't. So this is a kind of a slight misconception about what meditation is. So meditation is not about stopping thinking. It's not about getting rid of thoughts. It's not about getting rid of anything. Mindfulness meditation is about being aware. So we notice our thoughts. Rather than kind of get really involved in them and go down like a train of thoughts, we'll kind of try and take a step back and listen to those thoughts, watch those thoughts. And it does, you know, it takes practice when we're not used to it. And so, yeah, so mindfulness is not about getting rid of thinking, it's about being aware of thinking. And also, you know, when we've been practicing for a while, we notice that our thoughts can really affect our feelings. We may notice that certain thoughts come up more than others. Really the best kind of attitude to cultivate is curiosity, and to notice with kind of gentleness what's happening in your mind and your body from moment to moment. So the purpose of meditation is not to stop thinking. And what tends to happen the more we try to stop thinking is that the more we think. And the more we struggle, and the less kind of peace we feel, and the less in the moment we are. So, and you can notice this if I tell you what you mustn't do is, what you know is right now in this moment, is not think of a pink elephant. And most people will find that they immediately start thinking of a pink elephant, because our minds don't really do what we tell them to a lot, and the more we tell them to stop thinking, the more likely we are to think, as I said. So Alan Watts, the philosopher who was very into mindfulness and Eastern philosophy, he put it like this, which is quite a good way of putting it. Of course, you can't force your mind to be silent. That would be like trying to smooth ripples in water with a flat iron. Water becomes clear and calm only when left alone. So what he's saying is that the way to kind of let our thoughts kind of slow down is to just let them be and let them go. And again, it does take practice. And one of the main things that you might notice when you start practicing mindfulness is how many thoughts you have. And that is completely normal. And it's a bit of a revelation how, just random thoughts just pop into your head. The trick is really with mindfulness is just to treat those thoughts the same, and let them go, and bring your awareness back to the focus of your attention. So that could be your breathing or your body or the washing up. So that's thinking. I hope that explains that. Another one that I hear quite a lot is it's too noisy for me to meditate. I get very distracted by sounds, and how can I practice? So this is again a very common experience, and it's interesting actually, because when we're busy and we're doing things, we don't tend to notice sounds so much. But as soon as we sit and be quiet, the sounds that were already around us can seem very, very loud, and we can find that distracting. The problem is that unless we kind of live in a very remote community where there is no kind of, I don't know, police sirens or noisy neighbours or traffic or whatever, then it's very hard to find a very, very quiet place, especially in a city, like London. So part of mindfulness really is working with what we have, working with what is here already. So with time, what tends to happen is that the sounds are still there, but they just don't bother us so much. So another part of mindfulness is really just noticing our reactions, and then kind of just taking a step back from them as well. So we might have very judgmental thoughts, and those judgmental thoughts can actually create more tension in us. And just holding all those experiences in our awareness, that is mindfulness. So it's kind of working with what we've got, and also you can make those sounds the focus of your attention. You can use them as part of your mindfulness practice. So you deliberately focus on the sounds coming and going. And this is a practice that I hope to do in one of my my other videos. So yeah, it's just about kind of working with what is. And also something else that people say to me quite a lot is I haven't got time to meditate. There's I think a Zen saying about if you haven't got time to meditate for 20 minutes a day, then you should meditate for an hour, something like that. And it's basically, the busier you are, the more you need that meditation, and to be still for a while. But as I said, with mindfulness meditation, it's ideally you should think about practicing some formal meditation. That will give you a real flavour of what mindfulness is. But you can practice mindfulness, as I said, in anything you're doing. You can bring that attitude of mindfulness, of being in the present moment and focusing on what you're doing. So if you've got time to brush your teeth and have a shower and do the washing up, then you've got time to practice mindfulness. That's all I'd say. One more thing, I fall asleep a lot in meditation. That's not me, by the way. That's something that people say to me quite a lot. It's a very common experience, and I think that that comes from a lot of us. We get used to living, either we are stressed and anxious and awake, or we're asleep. It's quite tricky for us to find the middle ground, which is what meditation is, which is relaxed awareness. So we're alert, we're not asleep, but we are relaxed and we're kind of observing. And that just takes practice, really. It takes practice, and there are certain things that you can do to make it less likely that you will fall asleep. So thinking about the time of day when you practice, so maybe not after a big meal, and just when you feel less sleepy, really. And also just thinking about why you might be falling asleep. Is it because you're very tired? It might just be your body saying, I really need some sleep. So it's not, a huge problem, but it's just something to be aware of. Okay, so I think we will do some practice in a moment. So just to say that we are going to do some breathing meditation. We're also just going to bring our awareness to our bodies today. And again, it doesn't really matter what you focus on, it's just about bringing that quality of awareness. And another thing about the attitude that we bring to our practices is quite important. The more you try and the more you try to achieve a certain outcome, the less likely you are to get that outcome with meditation. So the more you go into a meditation thinking, I really want to feel peaceful and relaxed at the end of this, the less likely that is to happen. So the most helpful attitude to go into meditation with is to kind of think about it as not gaining anything but dropping something. So we're not trying hard to achieve anything. All we need to do is to work with what comes up, just to breathe with it rather than work with it. And just do it with gentleness and curiosity. So yeah, I've just got another quote here that I like. It says, a Zen student went to a temple and asked how long it would be before he attained enlightenment. 10 years, said the Zen master. What about if I work really hard and double my effort? 20 years, said the master. So that's just a nice little Zen joke, an illustration of the more we try, the less peaceful we'll feel, basically, in meditation. So I think I'm going to ask you to find a comfortable position, as comfortable as you can. And you can allow your eyes to close, and I'm going to allow my eyes to close for this as well, so I'm not just staring at the screen. And you can begin by taking a slightly deeper breath in. And just sighing gently as you breathe out. And beginning to become aware of the support that you're resting on. Allowing yourself to be supported. And gently bringing your awareness to the fact that you are breathing right now. And just noticing any tendency there is for the breath to change when you focus on it. And just knowing that the way you're breathing right now is the way you're breathing right now. And that's okay. Just allowing each breath to gently come and go. Noticing the gentle rise and fall of your stomach and chest. Rising gently as you breathe in and falling gently as you breathe out. And noticing that that gentle rise and fall happens naturally and effortlessly. And you can just sit back and just observe your breathing. And noticing when your mind wanders, and just accepting that that is what your mind does. And that's what everyone's mind does. Just noticing those thoughts and letting them go and fade into the background once more. And bring your awareness gently back to each breath, to this breath, and this breath, and this moment. Excuse me. And every time your mind wanders, just noticing and knowing that as soon as you notice, you are mindful, you are back in the present moment. And cultivating this attitude of gentleness and curiosity. And just seeing if you can extend your awareness just seeing if you can become aware of your feet. Noticing your toes, the soles of your feet, the tops of your feet, your heels. And just noticing any sensations that come and go in your feet. Noticing your lower legs, your calf muscles and your shins, your knees, your thighs, and all the way up to your hips. And as best you can, just breathing with whatever sensations come and go. Your feet and your legs. Whatever thoughts come and go from moment to moment. And bringing your awareness to your back. And noticing every vertebrae in your spine. Noticing your shoulders and your shoulder blades. Noticing any sounds you can hear, including the sound of my voice. And just breathing into your back and letting go. Noticing your stomach and your chest. Noticing that your breathing has been happening all by itself. Noticing the tops of your shoulders, down through your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and all the way down to your fingertips. And again, just noticing any sensations that come and go. Just noticing what you notice from moment to moment. And breathing with whatever sensations come and go. And when your mind wanders, just noticing where your attention went and letting any distractions go and bringing your awareness gently back to your body and the present moment. And just gently bringing your awareness to your neck, your head, your scalp, the muscles on your scalp, down through your forehead, your eyelids, your cheeks, and your jaw. And just breathing with your experience of the present moment. With any sensations, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant, any thoughts or feelings. Just watching them as they come and go from moment to moment, as best you can. And just returning your awareness for a few moments to your breath, allowing each breath to come and go, allowing each breath to bring you back to the present moment, back to stillness. And then when you're ready, just opening your eyes if they've been closed. You can have a gentle stretch if you want to. And just sitting quietly for a few minutes. I just wanted to read another Alan Watts quotes, if I may. So this one is, when we dance, the journey itself is the point. As when we play music, the playing itself is the point. And exactly the same is true in meditation. Meditation is the discovery that the point of life is always arrived at in the present moment. So what he's saying there is the point of dancing and the point of music and things that we play is the kind of flow, and the actual dancing or the music, it's not the end point. So this kind of illustrates what I was saying about not trying hard to achieve something to get an end result, to actually the meditation is in the moment and is just playing with what comes up. I hope that makes sense. So just to say, if you have any questions, anything that didn't make sense to you, please pop them in the comments on the YouTube, and I will do my best to answer them. I will also pop my website there. I've actually just done some more frequently asked questions on there that might be helpful. And I really hope that you have enjoyed practicing with me today. Thank you for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe to the Stuart Low Trust YouTube channel, which is just if you just search for Stuart Low Trust on YouTube, you should find it. And also check out the slt.org.uk website, which has all up-to-date information of what SLT is doing to help people at the moment, and anything that they have coming up. So I really hope to be doing some live mindfulness sessions, some workshops again for SLT in Islington in the near future, hopefully. But until then, I'm just sending my best to everyone, and I hope you're all keeping well. And please join me again. I'll be making some more videos that I hope will be helpful to people. Okay, that's it. Thank you.